and do what effectively boils down to reverse engineering of what's going on. I should know. I shouldn't have to look for the little blinky Bluetooth light. Again, I can sit in a bar all day just like I was and being scanned and not know it. Users should have the ability to whitelist MAC addresses or blacklist MAC addresses. I really don't care. The configuration options, again, none of this is rocket science. You should be able to change your PIN, better protection of link keys. Again, here's a TPM hook. There has to be a tie between trusted computing and Bluetooth, so there's my tie-in. If a device suddenly loses its link key, it's probably under attack. This is probably the scenario outlined in that paper. To my knowledge, I don't think any device actually throws a security exception right now. Every device I've played with is just like, oh, you lost your key, we should try this again. Profile-specific guidance, headset and hands-free. You should be able to, again, from a device perspective, whitelist AT commands. There's certain AT commands that are never going to be set to a handset. It's just a sign of protocol fuzzing occurring. OBEX file transfer should always have authentication, and it should always look for protocol fuzzing. Again, fuzzing. You can fuzz this stuff all day long and own it. File access, etc. Run it up the gut. Some of these attacks, when you run these attacks that like tryfin.org has released, they stand out like a sore thumb. They're really dumb. I mean, again, they're good attacks, but common sense test says, well, duh, that should never have happened. And there's no reason why we couldn't have signatures looking for these things and, hey, let's band-aid some security on it, shall we? If you look for someone trying to pull /telecom/pb.vcf, that's the universal location of your phone book, okay? PB, phone book. If you try to get that without authentication, ding, 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 someone's trying to do something nasty to you. Same for cal.vcs, that's your calendar file, dev info, boom. Once you see that, you should probably then go into some kind of defensive posture. These were all things that hopefully we were trying to get done with our little tool, and we slammed our head against our wall until it was bloody, so we didn't get it done. These are basically our functional requirements, if you will. Ability to scan connecting devices. This is an interesting idea, I think. If I have a relationship with a device and it's a headset, and then one day it stops being a headset and turns into a laptop and has all these extra capabilities, something strange is happening there. I should probably, it shouldn't happen. Like common sense says, duh, it shouldn't be like that. But nothing does this. Nothing scans back right now and looks. It should. In theory, it's everything I own, so who the hell cares if I'm scanning it? Bluetooth Authenticator, ha 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 ha, joke's on you, we didn't release anything. Eventually, Bluetooth.shmoo.com will have the source code. And like I said, we're focusing on IPC hooking these days. So, real quick, Summer of Code. This is a big gear shift. I'm evangelizing a notch. Google sponsored, or basically, how many people are familiar with Google Summer of Code? Handful. Google basically pays for hundreds and hundreds of open source projects every year to be written during the summertime by students who are looking for a job other than flipping burgers. And so these are all open source code, open source programs. Google puts in millions of dollars into this. Shmoo Group asked to be a sponsoring organization, and we were accepted for 4 projects. So real quick, I just want to go through the 4 projects that we have. The students have done a great job with this year, and I think that the projects are pretty interesting. The first is Firekeeper. This is a browser-level intrusion detection designed to block and detect malicious websites. Kind of neat, given Jeremiah's and some others' talks this weekend about actually how dangerous cross-site scripting can be. We all thought it was just kind of a joke, like, ha ha ha, I found another cross-site scripting attack. And it turns out, ha ha ha, joke's on you, can actually do lots of malicious stuff. And so Firekeeper is our response to try to lock down at least Mozilla and Firefox to keep them secure. You IE users, you'll be waiting for Microsoft to do something for you. GPG Grease Monkey. We were going to use Grease Monkey, which is a real-time JavaScript rewriting web pages to do encryption on Gmail and Yahoo and Hotmail and all that kind of thing. Turns out JavaScript doesn't really like calling native binaries, what with the security distinction between where JavaScript runs and where the rest of the stuff runs. So my student came to me one day and said, I think I'm going to have to implement GPG in JavaScript. No. I value your sanity as a student, and I don't think I want you to have to do that. So what we did instead was client-side mail encryption via Firefox extension instead. So with a Firefox extension, you can now do Gmail and Yahoo GPG encrypted email. Here's a screenshot that's super small and could be anything, but trust me, there's little encrypt and sign buttons at the top, which must mean it works. It's funny because when we started doing this, I'd seen a talk that Johnny Long had given, and he had these, it was a Hacking Hollywood talk, and he had these Gmail things where there were like new boxes on it and new functionality, and I thought he had used Grease Monkey. I'm like, dude, how'd you get all that new functionality to Gmail? He's like, Photoshop? Like, right. Because I had told my developer, like the student, to go contact Johnny. I'm like, don't talk to him. So anyway, this is actually not a Photoshop. You can actually encrypt and sign email in Gmail now using this thing. Two other projects we have, online rainbow tables lookups. We are hoping for drastically improved speed. We haven't been able to find that yet, but we do have an online web interface. It'll be online by the end of the summer. Basic web search capabilities, queuing. You get emails when the thing's done. We're looking for a DNS query interface, so you can send hashes via DNS and query it back and get responses later. So if you happen to be in a pen testing environment where your client doesn't mind you sending clear text hashes and clear text passwords around looking how to break into systems, it's a great tool. Honestly, it's more cute than anything. I don't know who would ever use it, but the people that do, I want to talk to you. That's just fantastic. Open Security Framework. It's a framework to simplify network security analysis. Pubs are working on that. I honestly don't know what state that thing's in, but it's pretty groovy. All the links are on code.google.com/SOC if you want to check them out. So with that, any questions or things of that nature? Sir? The question is about GPG, the Google GPG thing. Yeah, we actually have a problem with that because Google will cache what you type in at first without encrypting it. So if you want to use it properly in Gmail, you have to just like basically paste in everything and then click encrypt really quick. And she's trying to find a way to block all the AJAX stuff that would cause it to actually go back and forth. And that was the last thing I knew of, and she was still working on that. So other questions or concerns? People are pulling eject real quick. So I'm going to recognize, I got 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Yeah, we're out of time. All right, so if you have questions, come on up.